Welcome back to the Dopest Show you won't get sick of. I'm Spencer. This is Sasha. I spent most of my 20s in federal prison, but I've been off heroin since April 9, 2010. Got a lot of stories about the stupid stuff I did to get put in prison. Also got quite a few stories about the wild stuff that actually happened when I was in prison. And God forbid you end up in prison. You want to make some of the same mistakes I made. So this is an insane story. Two people in this story, they ain't here no more. And it's so bizarre and crazy, I'm just going to have to get into it. So, my first friend I ever made in pre-kindergarten, the first school I ever went to, was, you have these assigned spots on this carpet that you'd sit in the class, and this kid was undersized. He was about a year younger than everybody else. He spoke to me. I hated it. I remember the teacher held my ankles, and I was flat on the ground with my hands like screaming. Didn't want leave my mom. I'm a mama's boy, Ain't no shame in saying it. My mom saved my life more times than I count. But anyway, I was pissed off. And this little fella with a shave, he had like a buzz cut all the way down. Spoke to me, and he's a goofy little thing. He made me laugh. We became friends. Became pretty good friends. And throughout the years, I saw certain things happening, just a little bit different up top. But there's one set of circumstances in particular that related to Eminem. Now, I'm talking old school Eminem back in the beginning, the, hi, my name is, might have been, right around, it had to be back during that time. When he wrote that song, Kim, it ain't even a song, really. It's just, oh, man. And then talking about, taking his mom out. Taking her out. Back in that time, it was almost like fictional fantasy serial killer. It's like a movie and a song. But anyhow, I've been over this dude's house so many times growing up. It's gonna blow your mind when you find out what happened. So just bear with me. In around the 6th grade, he was listening to Eminem. Let me listen to my first introduction. In the back of Miss Patterson's science class. He had a CD player with, God, that was before the Marshall Mathers. I don't even know what the CD before the Marshall Mathers LP was. Whatever the first one was. And now that one got down, I'm telling you, that was talking crazy stuff. So, we had to do this thing our parents made us do called the cotillion. They dress you up like an idiot, like you got to wear a suit and tie, and you learn how to do these dances with girls, okay? Which that part was cool, like getting, but the whole dance thing, it was stupid. I hated going to it. I hated dressing up. The girl part was the only redeeming feature, but they're trying to teach you how to dance. I'm stepping on the girl's feet. I'm nervous as can be doing it, getting it all wrong. But anyhow, we're sitting in science class, and he talks about this one girl. Now, she's kind of the quote-unquote popular, but she was mean. Like, a lot of people didn't like her, but you know how that is. He talked about stabbing her and throwing her in the bushes. I'm like, what? He said, they wouldn't find her for 3 days. How'd they find her there? I said, when her mom comes back to pick her up. As book smart as he was, he didn't have any sense with that. I mean, you have a 6th grader, shows up to this learn how to dance thing all dressed up and stuff. They ain't gonna look in the bushes. So that might have stopped him from doing something right there, but he was serious about doing it. And he tried to get me to do this other plan where, how like you throw something at people when you're a kid and they'll go chasing you. He wanted me to do that to these couple girls that were the cool girls that picked on him relentlessly. So anyway, he wanted me to do that, and when they chased me, he wanted to pour he was in the band. He wanted to pour some type of like trumpet or some type of fluid that went in the instrument in their drink to get them really sick. I'm like, dude, I can't, I just, I didn't have like a way to talk out of it. So I just said, dude, I'm not doing that. Nah, he got this other guy to do it, and he did it, and they did get sick. But I mean, he's talking some twisted stuff here, okay? he kept getting a little more dark and stuff he was talking to. And I switched schools that year. Now, I'm in federal prison. I was on bond for 2 years. The book Dopesick came out. Locally, there were 3 papers that were done about the positive work I was doing in the community, how it changed my life. So people go to my mom and, with issues with addiction with their kids and talk to her about it and get her opinion. They'll just stop by and talk to her. They feel like they still do. A lot of the people who I help, it's just by them coming in and talking to my mom. But anyway, his mom asked my mom if she could go to eat with her. They went out to eat. His mom broke down crying, saying that basically every time he comes home he gets twacked out on drugs, and that he's getting drunk, so drunk, like it's and violent, a little bit crazy and all this, and that she wanted to send him to rehab, but the husband, who's a pretty high profile cosmetic doctor, said absolutely not. You know what that would do to our reputation? And she's crying because she wants to save her son, get him off this stuff, and but the husband wasn't having none of it. So 2 weeks after that is where we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Here's where what happens. If you look it up, what it says basically was she was found. The Life of David Gale, a movie with Kevin Spacey. Basically, he was an advocate against the death penalty. It's a great movie. But anyway, a woman's found with her feet bound, hands cuffed behind her back, and a plastic bag tied over her head. Gone. That was the way this fella's mom, that knew me since I was 5 years old, that I've been over to their house I don't know how many times, was found in their house, I believe in a closet. They didn't talk much with the police officers. They pretty much told them, you're going to have to talk to our lawyer. So it was an odd, mysterious thing, and nobody was charged. This is not a typical way to find a body. Okay, this isn't a typical, checking out, I'm done type of situation. This is unusual. Okay, feet tied, hands bound behind your back with a plastic bag over your head. No one was charged. Now, rumors swelled up like crazy. I can imagine. I don't know 100%, but from word of mouth, what I heard was after that, he had to quit going to school and just do online classes. But everybody's looking and they're wondering who done it. The kid or the dad? Because it don't look like she did it to herself. And they still ain't charged anybody. Now, this is a rich family. High profile doctor. And it's kind of a weird situation because the things that I knew about this guy and how he's getting dark, talking about stabbing a girl, throwing her in the bushes and stuff when we were kids. I remember that. I remember that type of talk, that type of dark plans that he was starting to come up with back then. Did she try to make him go to rehab and he flipped out? Was he drunk or high and he flipped out? Or maybe, possibly, it's complete speculation, the high-profile doctor, maybe she demanded it. Demanded that he go to save his life, as, a loving mother very likely could and would do. And sounds like he might have had a few issues with drinking himself, and maybe he accidentally took things too far. But still, the whole arrangement of this, it wasn't, it didn't seem like something that was done in like a moment of, anger. They call it a moment of passion, a moment of anger, like spontaneous. It seemed planned. It seemed very, very planned. Okay? And this is a huge mystery where I live. Huge scandal, huge mystery, still unsolved. And it was Eminem that got this brought up between me and my fiance last night. Eminem's music. See, D12, the Devil's Night album. I think I was in the 6th grade or 7th grade when that came out. I would bribe, certain people. Like my sister'd have somebody, that was her babysitter that would drive her to and from the place. I wasn't old enough to drive. And I'd pay them, like if it was a $20 CD, I'd give them like $80 to get something like that. I wanted to listen to it that bad. But anyway, I did some other stuff like that too. With the South Park movie, I ended up paying $100 for the South Park movie, and I charged kids to come over and watch it. Anyway, aside the point. But I was quoting the entire intro to D12 Devil's Night. Oh my God, that is the most vulgar, offensive, non-politically correct intro ever. Oh Lord, if it came out today, oh what? And I was telling Casey, I said the whole intro. I know that CD by heart, and pretty close to it anyway. And I was telling her what it said, and then I pulled it up on the TV and I played it. And it got me talking about him because he's the one that introduced me to Eminem. And, Eminem's an incredible artist, by the way. But, not saying he's to blame for anything. I think anybody who blames an artist for anything is an idiot. People make their own choices. Freedom of speech, is above any and everything. Freedom of speech doesn't protect speech you like. It protects speech you don't like. Larry Flynt. He did a lot for freedom of speech. If you don't know who that is, watch the People vs. Larry Flynt. And if you want an incredible laugh, look up here on YouTube, Larry Flynt deposition, and it's the actual deposition tape from when he was in. You will not believe that it's like a comedy show, but this is an actual court recording. Watch it anyway. Yeah. So entertainment in that. I don't think that anybody who blames entertainment for something they do that's dumb. That's stupid. I watched a lot of movies, about drug dealing. And I wanted to be that. But I made that choice, okay? And I take responsibility for that choice. But anyhow, I was quoting that whole intro to it. And I started, "This is another public service announcement brought to you in part by..." Shut up, punk. This thing on? Good, hell yeah. It's a funny intro. It's offensive, though. If you get offended easily, unless you got that type of sense of humor where you don't get offended, don't watch it. But anyhow, I looked up the case to show my fiance. Now the guy, my first friend from school, the son, he just passed away not too long back. I can't find out how he passed away. I've been kind of, this is awful, to think of this, but I said something like, it was back when it happened, years back. I said, if he did it, I wonder if that guilt will end up being the end of him one day. I don't know if that's what happened or if it was drugs. Today you can die. God, just pills used to be the safe bet because pills, you knew what you're getting. Since the whole crackdown, the cartel's reformulating, and basically the pills for the most part aren't at all what you think you're getting. That could have been it too. But I'm so curious as to how he went. And this case is still open. I have no clue how this guy passed. Who knows if it had some weird circumstances too. So anyway, this tripped me out. It's my very first friend in school ever. First person to talk to me when I was in pre-kindergarten. Hated being at the school, was scared, sad, all that. He's nice, funny little guy. He's the smallest kid in the class, and always laughing. He laughed back then. I remember that. He's a goofy little kid. But I ended up being like his best friend, and I made sure nobody picked on him. He was a year younger. I saw that in the obituary, and it made sense why he was so much smaller. They shouldn't have started him the year they did. I guess they wanted him to be ahead. That's not a good idea. If you got early or later, go ahead and go with the later, because early, likely the kid's going to be smaller, and smaller kids get picked on. So I ended up getting in a lot of trouble standing up for him early on. A lot of the trouble I got in growing up wasn't even fighting my own battles, you know. It was sticking up for my friends. But anyhow, you know, that's about it for this one. If you like the video, press the like button. If not, that's 15 minutes and 27 seconds of your life in which you'll never get back. Thumbnail's a little off for this. I know. I have some stories that I think are really interesting and really good. If nobody clicks, it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, in this genre, booty bandits, booty boys, it's like the number one thing that people, and I got a ton of those stories because I was at Petersburg, where it's 40% chomos, and a large population of people that like to prey on weak people, not just chomos, but other people. There are more stories I can count about that. But sorry for the thumbnail being a little bit different than what the topic was about. But I think this is just a wildly, like, this is like a national thing that's been put in magazine, all like mysterious events that are unsolved, you know, that type of thing. This has been put in multiple publications and documentaries, videos, along with others, that what happened, people want to know. So I figured I'd share it. I thought it was interesting. It's so much more interesting to me because I had the background of talking to him and hearing him come up with these plans to hurt people that made fun of him when we were kids. And then something this bizarre happens. So, yeah, I hope you liked it. Also, I'm thinking about going live here soon. I don't know how to do StreamYard and none of that stuff. So, it'd pretty much just be me, like, talking with y'all. If you're up for it. Never done a live yet. You know, planning on getting on that. So, anyway, hope you liked the video.